Alright, so today I'm gonna be here doing ReZero set review slash first impressions, and I'm here with some friends from the Calgary Weiss group. So since some of us hasn't seen all the cards from the set yet, it's basically just gonna be a quick overview and see what we can get out of it. So my friends can introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Enix, part of the more of the administrative properties of Calgary Vice. Good to meet everyone.
Hey everyone, I'm Azurin. I'm just from the Calgary Weiss group.
Hi, I'm Aspard, also known as Nathan. I am one of the people who started up the community here.
And I'm Knight Rika, and I'll be your newbie perspective.
Yeah, okay. So we're just gonna go through the list on Harvard the cards. So the first card we have Felt, candidate for role election. It's a 3/2, 9,500 power, or actually 8,500 power, my bad. If you have 3 or more other characters with either magic or weapon, this gets 2,000, so it's practically 10-5 base. When this card attacks, search your library for up to 1 character with either magic or weapon, reveal it, put it in your stock, and then shuffle your library. So it gets you 1 stock on attack, and you can pay 2 stock. When this attacks, you may pay the cost. If so, choose one of your characters, and that character gains the following ability for a turn. This ability activates up to once per turn. When the damage dealt by this is cancelled, you may deal 1 damage to your opponent. So cancel turn. Yeah, so any opinions?
You'll probably always have a pretty solid board state, so you're almost guaranteed that 10-5, so that's pretty nice. Is that on attack? Yes, on attack, search your library for 1 character, so you're also compressing, which is really nice, even after the refresh, so puts you in a nice state end game wise, because it is a level 3 card. You also kind of half the cost for its cancel burn effect. So overall, I think it's a pretty solid card.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
dex
the
in
stock
and 1
generation
stock
built-
cancel burn. Yeah.
And it has cancel burn utility, so yeah, overall really good, I think.
To add to that, it doesn't really require climax, so seems splashable in most decks if you need a finisher.
Yeah. Do you guys want to talk about the changer? Because there is a 2/1 changer that goes into
Yeah,
this.
yeah, I was just about to
let's
say.
go to
I
the
mean,
real quick.
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll hit it later, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that
this,
actually makes this card a lot better.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like standalone, it seems okay, but it's not the greatest. But because it is the change target, you definitely have to play this. Because it's the yellow color, so I'm assuming the main deck for this is gonna be the weapon slash dice deck, which Felt goes in.
Yep.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, forgot to mention, we're gonna give each card a rating. The rating scale is gonna be one of the best cards in the set. It'll be rated amazing. If it's a good card, it'll be good. You know, obviously. There's a rating for standard issue, which is like cards you see with effects that are played often, but aren't defining of the set or deck. So standard issue will refer to cards like Taige or Ellie clones, and then we have playable cards, and subsections of playable would be like if it's playable, it's decent. Situationally playable, Chris. Situation playable is if it's playable in waifu deck, or maybe it's bad. Yeah. What do you want? What rating do you want to give this card?
Are we gonna go through by order?
If I would probably give it a solid good card overall. I mean, it has a change target. You can give cancel burn to whoever, so itself on attack, or if you're prepping for that final swing. So I'd say a very good card. Good card.
Yeah, I think I also give it, like, by itself it's not the greatest, but I'd give it good just because it is the change target for the deck. We can
Yeah,
agree
probably
on that.
agree.
Yeah.
Good to amazing, something in between that. It's not like super
I would
great.
give it amazing. It's not Yami.
I would give it more of standard issue to good. Like everyone wants cancel burn, right?
Yeah.
I would rate it more good than the standard issue.
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree with Chris there, although I don't see it being used too much, like it's the best card.
Yeah, it's not the best.
Yeah, I think I'll just give it a good as well, just because it does have that cancel burn. You don't need the climax to play it. Yeah.
Splashable too, right? So okay. So we're gonna move on to the next card. It's Theresia, previous Sword Saint. So all your other Wilhelm young swordsmen gain +1 level and 500 power, which is the next card actually. And you can pay 1 stock, send this to memory when you level up. You can pay the cost, and if so, look up to 4 cards from the top of your library and search up for 1 weapon character, reveal it, put it in your hand, and put the rest of the cards in the waiting room. So it's like a Koski basically, whenever you level up.
I mean, yeah, it's a compression of Koski with the first ability is actually like pretty good considering what the card it gives to is.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But it's only really relevant at 0.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it also has 500 power, right? So, like, Osamatsu, Kaiki snipeable. So it's not, like, the greatest. But if you hit it off, I mean, super nice.
Well,
Yeah.
also Masu is 1 set. Like, what other set can snipe this at level 0?
I understand. Like, there's literally, like, only 2 sets.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really all I have to say.
Yeah. Well,
Well, she's the best girl in the series, so.
well,
Anything else?
I don't know about best, but maybe second best, I would agree.
Alright. I do like the compression on it, especially the level up, because I think the Wilhelm Young Swordsman, is that the other level 0? Is it a level 0?
Yeah,
It's a level 0.
Okay, so it has like super relevant 0, right? But like if you draw it, it's kind of almost a dead draw end game. So
yeah,
like,
because
really
it is slow. It's on level
yeah.
up. Yeah.
You wanna limit it, right?
Yeah.
So like it's great if you have it. It's you know, it doesn't make or break, you know, but it's like super nice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, drawing the late game isn't that bad. Like, it's pretty much drawing like any other 0 beat stick, because power for 0 like becomes irrelevant in the late game pretty much. But yeah,
True
I
enough.
agree. It is slow. It is slow. I think I would give it like decently playable, like playable decent rating.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those, you know, if you want to tech into cards, I feel like.
Like
So
I would
give
always
it.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely give it a
deck,
decent.
so.
Yeah.
And if you play
Yeah, well-
that, you probably have to bring in that Wilhelm card too, eh?
Yeah.
Into your
Yeah.
deck.
Yeah, for sure.
Playable standard issue. kind of.
So it does become a question of how many 0s you want to run, right? So of it, I mean, because if you run it, you run the Wilhelm, or
Yeah,
if you want
like,
Wilhelm,
That's
you
dedicated
probably want to run it.
quite a few slots for those.
In the context of the Weapon Knights deck, there's not that many 0s you could run.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you want to be splashing like stuff.
Your
up blue.
choices are more or less.
Yeah, like unless you want to splash blue stuff, but which you can. I mean, it's not like you can't.
Yeah. I would rate this playable. Between anywhere from decent to situational. I mean, if you want to make sure you get it off, generally every game you run 4, but like, I don't know. I would feel iffy about it.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, I'll
no
probably-
disagreements.
Playable, decent.
Yeah, no, playable situational, just because
Yeah.
you need to bring in the Wilhelm into the
Okay.
deck.
I don't really mind seeing if people do play 4 of it though, because you just compress your deck anyways on it, and it's not like, even if the effect doesn't go off, it's not terrible. So,
Yeah, like it's like just drawing any level 0 in the late game, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And like
It would.
if you
Sorry,
front,
go ahead.
like if your opponent has an empty slot, Chris, you're kind of crackling again. Like if your opponent has an empty slot, you can like field this and then attack into it, and then if they level you next turn, like you can use it while it's reversed as long as you level, right? So
No, it sends it to memory though.
yeah, I know, but like if they attack it and then you level and it's reversed, you do it then, right?
Oh, yeah,
This is
yeah,
when you
yeah.
level.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not the worst thing to draw into later. Just the first effect, I think, is only relevant at 0, pretty much. Alright, so next card. So this is Crush, Head of the Karsten House. It's 500 power. During your turn, your other character in front row center slot gets 1k. You can pay to stock, rest this, search your deck for up to 1 character with either magic or weapon, reveal it, put it in your hand, and then shuffle. It's also a spammable search brainstorm for magic or weapon. Yeah,
It's a pretty good card.
yeah, it's pretty good, I agree.
This is
Two good effects in one,
Yeah,
plus the 1k power to
package.
center.
yeah.
Like, I don't know. If you're running yellow, you're almost guaranteed to be running this card.
Yeah, like you can even run it in not yellow. It is magic.
Yeah,
weapon.
that is
Yeah,
true.
like,
It's magic on tray. Yeah. Sorry,
It's on
that's
tray,
really
yeah.
good then.
I think it's
Yeah.
a really good card.
I would definitely agree. There's so many like good effects packed on this like level 0 utility that like
It-
500 means like nothing really.
It's just a lot of utility.
Yeah, so it is Kaikiable, but
Yeah, but I mean like you're like running 2+ easy.
Yeah, it is a good card.
Like the fact that it has pay to search and brainstorm in the same.
Yeah, I don't know. There's not much to say. It's just good. Like you should probably
Yeah,
be
just-
playing this card.
Yeah.
Rating?
Is it the only brainstorm for weapon? Or do they have another one?
What is it? Is this magic or weapon?
The salvage brainstorm is like not trade locked, so you can play that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for specifically just weapons, it's the only
Yeah.
searcher. So it seems like you would have to play it in yellow.
Yeah. I give it at least a good rating, like, if not amazing. I don't know what you guys.
I would agree. I'm between like good and amazing. It's like almost not amazing, but like it's just more than good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good plus.
Solid good.
Introduce another tier.
Okay, so let's go on to the next one. So this is the card that interacts with the Theresa. So this is Wilhelm, Young Swordsman. If you have no other characters, you front low. It gets 1/5 power. That's 2k base, 0/0. So at the start of your opponent's attack phase, you may move it to an empty slot in your front row that has an opponent character opposite that slot. So it's like an interceptor.
Yeah, I mean with the Theresa card, it actually makes this 4K and interceptor. So
4k level
yeah,
1. Yeah.
4K level 1. They're not suiciding into this.
It's nice, but like, I mean to intercept, especially if it's like a suiciding 0, right? You get to snipe that, force them to. Well, you can't even force them to side because they want to do that damage, right? So they'll probably just crash.
Well,
So it's nice in that regards.
hard to say. It depends on the situation, but sometimes you might.
No, you're right. It
Yeah.
makes a level 0 game a little bit more dynamic, I guess, if you do run this, because
Yeah.
you're just like, do you want to hit him to 1? How tough are you at 1
Yeah.
or 0 rather?
Yeah.
Right? Do you need that stock? Do you need that damage? It's very interesting.
I think it is decent. It is playable. That's what I'm gonna give it.
Yeah, same
Mhm.
rating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably good, playable decent.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I find the second effect isn't relevant unless you actually do have a Tricia, because otherwise you're just gonna side it anyways, right? So
Yeah. Well, like it just allows you to manipulate the field more at 0 as well as like your damage, because like if they can't
Yeah.
get over this, they usually like attack empty lanes. So you're covering empty lane with this card. Like maybe you want to get to run 1 faster and you won't use it, but if you don't, then it's like 1 less soul.
Yeah, you do have the
I mean-
option.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like all your other front row movers. It more or less generates you a stock.
And it's decently sized.
Usually for a turn,
Yeah.
usually.
Yeah. So okay, let's go to the next card. Felt Declaration of War. It's standard 0025 mill runner. Mills for magic or weapon, and then yeah. So it's standard issue, I think, but it's a good card.
Not much to say.
standard.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
standard
yeah.
issue.
yeah,
It's a runner.
it's super nice.
It does runner
All
things.
All the standard cards are 2500. I think that's the standard power for
Yeah,
runner, right?
Well,
25.
for a
I
mill
feel like
runner,
that's
yeah,
the case.
25.
Other than that, then yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
It's-
like,
it's-
it's a
Not
good
much to say
card.
about
You
it.
run this.
Yeah, it's good to have.
yeah. It also makes things interesting at the 0 game because I don't think many sets both have an interceptor and a runner, so it really depends like how you want to play.
Yeah, you can move your field around a lot at 0.
Yeah, definitely. So it's very interesting. I like sets with an interesting 0 dynamic because usually it just turns into who hits 1 first.
All right, so next card is Julius Best Knight, and he is actually pretty good. So during your turn,
Wait, what's the rating you gave on the last card? Good?
it's
standard
standard
issue?
issue, but
Yeah,
it's a
standard
good
issue.
card.
Definitely standard
Runners are good cards. So Julius, during your turn, if all your characters are either magic or weapon or merchant, this gets plus 2k power as 4/5 base. And then if you have 3 or more other characters with either magic, weapon, or merchant, it gets 500 power and hand on core. It's pretty strong.
It's a
I
big
mean,
wall.
It's literally a free 7k wall
This is
with
7K.
hand on
It's not a wall. It's because it's only during your turn. it
Sorry,
gets
not a
2K,
wall.
yeah.
Sorry, it's.
Oh,
I
during
know
your
it's pretty
turn.
beefy for a 1-0.
Yeah. Well, it basically equates to like the assassin type cards like the Yami promo, but it also has hand on core. Like that's why I think if you wanted to play the Theresa package, it's not that bad because if you draw into it, like you can always discard it with this guy's hand on core.
Good point.
I don't know. I gave it a good card. I think it's pretty good.
I would also.
I would agree, but just good in like yellow, right? Because I
Yeah, it's just
assume.
good in yellow.
Yeah. Other-
Well, I mean,
Wait, but magic too.
yeah,
So
you
is
can
that
splash
splashable?
it, but like I think Well, you'll see when we get to the other cards.
I feel like
other options they want to play.
the other colors other than yellow have better options instead of him. I mean, he's not like not splashable, but is he the best choice? Probably not.
Yeah.
Then I just give him a good.
Yeah, I'd give him good. Like, he's not amazing. He's good.
Probably just good. Yeah.
Alright, so next card is a very controversial card. I think a lot of people are discussing this.
Oh yeah.
It's Reinhardt, Sword Saint, and he has
Oh boy.
a million goddamn abilities. So he's a 3/3, 3 soul, 10k card with bodyguard and experience 6. If you have no other characters except for him on your stage, he gets 10k power, hexproof, can't be reversed by auto abilities. Your opponent can't play events or backups during battle evolving this card, and memory kick. And on reverse, you may discard 1 card from your hand, like any card. If so, burn your opponent for 1 damage.
Just want to correct, he's 2 soul, not 3 soul.
Oh, is he? Wait, I thought he was
Yeah,
2
he's
soul.
2 soul.
No, he's too
Oh,
soul.
he's 2
He is
soul?
2 soul.
He
He
just
also
costs
has-
3.
Oh.
He also has one final ability where, at the start of your opponent's attack phase, you may move to an empty slot in your front row.
Oh man. Well, coming from a new player, first of all, reading walls of text like this, I mean, I quit Yu-Gi-Oh because of that. So I mean, to see this in Weiss, holy crap.
Yeah, they kind of went ham on Ray Zero in terms of certain cards' amount of abilities.
So, like, looking at this card, I think it's really strong in a vacuum situation. Like, if you just look at this card, you think, wow, that's broken, right? But I don't know. If you actually put this into play, there's lots of factors that can affect it. Like, first of all, your deck, like the weapons deck, it generates advantage not from a level 1 combo, but from like the pay 2 tap brainstorm that we saw earlier. You have to keep up your hand size to be able to play this card, and you have to have no other characters on the field. So like, if you want to get 3 attacks in, you have to crash the rest of your characters, and then have this guy in the back row to move up next turn to be by himself. But if your opponent has like a rest or a rest counter or a sat counter to leave an open slot, then he becomes irrelevant. That's how I think about it.
I think we'd have to like actually wait and see. You know, I do agree. Like again, in a vacuum situation, like you're just going like, what do I do? I guess it's also very daunting if you just imagine it actually happening. You know, like if your opponent's at 3-0 and you're staring at that card. Like
yeah. I mean, like, if set up correctly, he is scary. Yeah.
Although I would agree, like hand size becomes issue. I'm not entirely certain about how yellow can keep its hand size. That being said, I feel like the last effect kind of pushes it over. Otherwise, it'd be like kind of very difficult to pull off. But I mean, barring rest counters or sat counters to prevent you from crashing your stuff, like he can just move up from the back row into like the center stage and just, you know, be a menace.
Yeah, but almost every set has a set counter nowadays. So if you know you're against Reinhardt, it would be good to keep it.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. But at the same time, I think I think we'll get into it, but I'm pretty sure Ray Zero also has a sat counter of their own, right?
Yeah.
So
no, but you can't move him up if your field's not empty.
that's right.
So and then at that point your counter's irrelevant. Unless you already have him in the front row, in which case you probably encored him or sided with him. So then if you have a set counter, you can do that. But yeah. So I think
Yeah,
he's
so
like
that kind of destroys his card pretty much.
yeah.
Outside of that, for the deck that he's built in, he's like decent, good finisher kind of thing.
I think he's like situationally playable.
I don't feel like he's a finisher. I feel like he's kind of like that defensive wall.
He feels like a one-man win con, so
Well, like
if you get it off,
he's like
that is-
a win more card if you're ahead. You know, like if you're at 3-0 and you set him up,
Yeah,
and
he
your
doesn't
opponent's
put
at
you
like
on the
3-5 or something, then it's really hard for them to win the game. So
yeah, pretty much.
it's kind of like that. So I'd give him a playable situational rating because his roof is very high, but he also has a very low floor.
Yeah, card can have issues. Hard for me to rate this.
I have to see how it plays out, but I personally would give it a good card, strictly because, you know, you probably have ways of ensuring that he's your last guy. I mean, because all you really need is three stop, I guess.
Yeah.
But you definitely would like more because of his other effects in regards to the burn. I think the biggest thing is like ending a game, right? So as you said, it's a very easy win more card, but if your opponent is also at 3-0, Like, are you're hitting like 3 soul 1 turn, and just hope you live because they can just keep crashing. I'm gonna put it as good, but
I mean, looking at this and thinking about the deck, I wanna say like before seeing how things work out, I'll probably give it decent.
Yeah, I guess situational would be what I would give it. At least until we see what it can actually do.
Yeah. Well, none of these ratings are final. It's just like
Yeah.
where we
Just
can
our
see.
opinions.
Yeah. No more. Next card. It's,
More comments.
Anastasia, good at negotiating. So it's a Koski, the OG standard issue clone, but it's only merchant trait, and it hits merchant, beastman, or knight. So it doesn't hit magic or weapon, which are the main traits of the set. And it itself is also off trait.
It's a Koski for the specific deck, but that's about it.
Wait, so can you make a jank deck out of
Yes.
merchant, beastman,
yes.
or knight cards?
Kind
Yes.
of.
oh yeah, for sure.
Kind of.
The more or less the deck. There's a deck that does.
There
this.
is a deck. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Such
Well,
things.
it's serviceable.
Yeah.
It's usable. That's
Yeah,
all I
it's
can say.
usable.
Like, it's a Koski that hits traits that are not as relevant in the set.
At least they have it, I guess.
Yeah, it's still a Koski, so I'd give it situational rating, I guess.
Yeah, probably situation.
Like the main problem, like playing this in like a yellow weapon deck, is that it's off trait. It's only merchant, so your
Yeah.
level 1 crushes. They need a full field of weapon characters to get 4K power, or else they're 2K base. So you don't want to
Yeah.
field this when you're at level 1.
You don't want to. Yeah, you don't want to feel this.
And it also doesn't hit half your deck. So
Yes.
yeah, I think it's
half.
situational.
I put it at waifu.
Yeah. Wow.
Oof.
It's really not that good.
Yeah, I mean,
But you can't
think
build a waifu deck.
Considering your options in the yellow deck, this is one of the only things you've got.
Well,
I mean-
you just max out other copies of other
I
cards.
don't think you'd play it in weapons at all.
Like you could, but it only hits half your deck. That's the thing.
I feel like it's the risk reward. I mean, a Koski effect isn't a Koski effect, right? We all know how good a Koski effects are, and it's unfortunate that this one kind of hits half the deck. So I think it's up to the player to kind of determine that risk reward. I would also agree, just because it's off trait, but you can't really deny an Akatsuki effect.
Well, anyways, next card is Felix, Healing Mage. So it's a 1/0.
Oh, this
Your other character with question name in the front row center slot gets 1/5 power, assist 500, and pay 2 rested, and you may heal 1. It's
yeah, this
yeah, it's good.
it's another one of those where you just have a giant package of good things. It's like a goodie bag.
Yeah, if you're definitely looking to play the level 1 Crush, there's like no reason not to run it.
Yeah, I think
So-
it's good. I'd give it a good
Yeah.
rating.
I'd just give it a solid good. I mean, the pay 2 to heal is a win more.
Yeah.
Well,
But, I mean-
it comes in use because
No, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there is no usage for it, but I mean,
Wait, so has this effect been done before? Like the pay 2 restless and heal?
not on the same card.
what? Yeah,
Pay
it has.
2
Rescue,
rest.
yes, it exists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the weapon deck's only sustain, so that's their healing option. But
Oh,
yeah,
do they not have like a level healer or anything
No,
like that?
No.
Their level 3 doesn't heal.
Yeah,
Okay, so
yellow
this is
does
it.
not have any
Yeah.
heals.
Yellow does not heal.
So this is like your healing option, and it's a good back row. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Good.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah, if you're playing weapons, even despite it not being on trait on weapon though, but I think
It
it's
has
needed
magic.
in the deck.
Yeah, it has magic, and most of the cards hit both weapon and magic. Next card is Crush Fighting White Whale. This is the 1/0 combo for the yellow deck, for the most part. If all your characters are either magic or weapon, this gets 4K power, and it's 2K base, so it hits 6K. And then when this attacks, if 3 or more other characters with either magic or weapon, you look up to the top 2 cards from your library, choose one of them, and put it on top of your deck, and put the rest in the waiting room. And then when it attacks with the Climax, which is a win trigger 1K1, you discard 1 card, and put the top card of the library in your stock, and look up to 2 cards from the top of your library, choose up to one of them, put it in your hand, and put the rest in the waiting room. Like, basically, while you attacks, I think you would generally trigger the first effect first, and then trigger the Climax combo.
Yeah, so you can ensure your blind stock.
Yeah, and then you get to hand fix.
You know, the combo is pretty good, and it's decently beefy.
It's
Like-
really big with the Felix.
It's 7.5.
But only on center slot, right?
8K of his Felix in the
Yeah,
center.
so it's 8K in the center with the Felix, and then your other on the
I
side
mean,
is 6.5 at least.
it's huge. I mean, if you have like this card makes it so that you can't feel the Koski at level 1 pretty much.
Yeah, like you want the power on this at level
Yeah,
1.
if you
I honestly think it's like a pseudo Akatsuki, but on a climax combo. Because
You do go through 4 cards.
yeah,
you're going through 4
Yeah,
cards,
but
and
you don't know what you're drawing. You only know what you stock. Because you check and then you stock first. It's hand fix and stock combo for free. You don't have to reverse or anything. So I think it's really good. I'd give it a good rating.
Yeah, I mean, the only like stipulation is like, how good are you at setting up your field, right? For it.
You only need 3 others, so 4 cards. You don't even need a full field.
No, point taken. It's not so bad.
Yeah, it's not so bad.
What else was I gonna say? It's really nice to have that knowing what you want to go into stock or not. So like, I think by itself already generating, what is it? Ideally, 1, 2, 3. The climax combo is a win trigger, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
So you
one.
get 6 stock in 1 turn if you have 3 of these.
You get 6 stock in 1 turn. Like what other yellow cards can plus you so hard in the stock? I would personally put this a little bit above good. We get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would say. It's not like amazing, right? Because of you might, I guess, sometimes have difficulty setting up for it. But like, it's like a 9, almost 10k beater in the center, and then 7k is a piece.
yeah,
No disagreements?
I don't think.
yeah, I would go good plus.
Yeah, I agree with it, at least.
Like even if you don't have the climax, you can still use that first auto
one.
ability.
Yeah. Go through your deck. It's good.
It's nice
still
to have.
fat.
Yeah,
It's still pretty big.
Yeah. Okay, so the next card is Heartfelt Night. It's a 1/0 2k counter for magical weapon characters. So it's standard issue. I don't know.
Standard issue stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
not
good.
much to say outside.
Yeah, it's good you play it. Standard issue.
Standard, you're gonna run it
Yeah, 2K counter is just good.
on trade.
Yeah.
Next card, Old Man Ram. It's a 1/05k. If you don't have another character with Felt in its name, this does not stand during your stand phase. When this is placed from your hand to stage, if you have another Felt, it gets 2k for the turn. And you can pay 1 stock, put this in your waiting room. If your other character with Felt in the name is front attacked, you can pay the cost and then choose one of your characters to battle, and that character gets plus 2/5. So it's a on-field 2/5 backup, and also a 7k beat stick for the turn you play it, if you have a Felt in the name.
Yeah,
I would give this rating like playable, maybe Felt focused deck, so like waifu, playable waifu. Yeah.
probably playable to waifu. That's what I was. Yeah,
Playable waifu.
I think there's
I would
better
agree.
options to play when you're playing yellows.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Anything outside of Felt as in the main focus of the deck, this card is very outclassed by even just the Julius we talked about earlier. Like 2/5 to another Felt at 1 stock when we just went through a Reinhardt 1/0 backup that gives you 2k. I mean, it's not very worth it, you know.
Alright, so the next card is Felt Private Slums. This is the 2/1 changer that goes into the first card, the 3/2
Right.
Felt. So so it's 2/1 8k on play, discard Girl of Gale, which I believe was a Stoxel climax.
It's a stock. So
Yeah,
it is
so-
a stock.
It is a stock.
And then you put this in your waiting room, and then if there are 5 or fewer cards in your library, return all cards in your waiting room to your library. Search your library for up to 1 character with either Felt, Old Man, Ram, or Reinhardt in the name. Reveal it, put it in your hand, and then search up your library for up to 1 of the level 3 Felt and play it on the stage in the slot that this was in. And then shuffle your library, and that character gets 1k power per turn. So it changes to 3/2, is a free fresh, and searches for Felt. You're probably not playing Old Rama Ram, but it also searches Reinhardt.
It searches the 2 key count.
Yeah, it can search the counter, or you can search the 3/3. I mean, this makes the 3/2 a lot better than what it is. I think
Yeah.
getting it out at level 2 is not too difficult, and at level 2, it'll probably survive for longer, and you can build more stock with it.
I almost want to give it amazing, but since it does cost a climax slot,
Yeah, it costs you a climax, but the climax is also a stock, so you can play it regularly sometimes.
I feel like I think it's the first card of its kind to be both a free fresh and an early change all in one pack.
Luvia.
Maybe I'm wrong.
No, Luvia.
Yeah.
Luvia
that
does the
card.
same thing? Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, that's right,
Luvia
Luvia.
does.
Yeah, sorry.
Except she doesn't get like a free search as well.
You don't get
along
it.
with
You don't get
Yeah.
But she doesn't need a climax.
it. She doesn't.
Yeah,
get
that's
it.
true. That's true.
That's the difference.
Yeah. Like you
I
have,
don't know,
you
I
have to
feel-
commit a climax slot for this.
I would give it like good plus, just cause like you get that early play, and I think like on her attack she searches anyways as well, the 3-2 as we discussed earlier. So I mean, honestly speaking,
3-2 doesn't search.
no,
The thing is,
it stocks, right? It stocks.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
a stock.
Okay, so-
It's just deck thing.
So you have a lot of stock to work with, which makes again that Felix all the more viable in terms of keeping yourself alive with the 2-cost heal one.
Yeah.
Yep. Probably good plus. I second that.
I would probably just say
Yeah.
good, but yeah, it's close enough. So, no disagreements. Next card?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So next card is Wilhelm von Astraea. This is the grown-up version. If there's 2 or more of this card in your waiting room, it gets -1 level in your hand. And it's a 2/2, 5k, 2 soul. So if all your characters are either magic or weapon, it gets 3k. So it's 8k base practically. And then recollection, if you have 2 or more of the Thresia in your memory, it gets plus 2k power, and the ability when you reverse your battle opponent, you can blind stock one.
This card is like so funny.
I mean,
Fucking hard.
it could be a 1-10k. That's fucking heat.
But
the problem with it is like you have to pay 2 to get it on.
yeah, but and you also
And the rest of-
you also need the condition, right? You need 2 Theresias
Yeah,
for
exactly.
the 2k,
You
and you need 2 of it in
You
your
can't
waiting
even
room.
get that into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need
So
it.
I mean, for those who want to commit with the Theresia,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you have 2 in the back row and you level up and you have 2 stock. That means you need like 4 stock, right?
Yeah.
To like at least get one of these things out on the field.
So like if you actually
Jimmy
do
gets
get it, it's pretty strong. So I will give it situational. It's kind of bad.
Pro-
I would definitely give it situational.
I don't know why it doesn't have night.
No longer a night, man.
That's also true.
Okay. So next card is Belial. How do you pronounce this game?
What card?
Bell. Is that how you pronounce it?
Beetlejuice?
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice? How do they say in the anime?
Okay. Well, it's the shitty priest, and it's a 2/2.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Best girl, man.
Yeah, okay. I have to kick you out of here.
Alright.
Anyways, continue.
So if this is on stage, it gets Sloth and Diligence, and the character opposite this gains Sloth with traits. And you could clock yourself 1 damage, discard a character card with either magic or weapon from your hand to the waiting room. When this gets reversed, if you have 5 or more cards in your hand, you may pay the cost. If so, rest this and then burn your opponent for 1 damage. And at the start of your Encore step, if you don't have a Subaru on your field, you choose one of your characters and put it in your waiting room.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. This is really funny.
I feel like this is like one of the few cards that like Bushiroad knows. Like it's probably not a very good card, but they were just so thematic about it
Yeah,
that they
it's
put it in
very
anyways.
But it's bad. I'm just gonna say it's bad.
Yeah, no, I would
No, you
classify
don't
it as
play
jank.
So the next card is the 0/0 Priest, and he's 0/025. He has the same first effect, which gets traits. He can't direct attack, and for each marker under him, he gets 1 key power. And when it becomes reversed in battle, if there are 10 or fewer markers under it, you can put the top card of your start under this as a marker and then rest it. So it's like the Berserker card.
I mean, it's another funny card.
I would put it like situational.
Alright.
Is there anything that actually works off of having your opponents gain Sloth? I really want to know.
No, it's
I
just
don't
flavor.
believe so.
Yeah, it's
That
just
makes me
flavor.
so sad. Set 2 win.
Like, I mean, it can be a 0/0
Yeah. It's,
See, I think
Yeah,
you're
alright.
paying way for
But,
dick.
Wife dead. Wow.
Poor Uday.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'll put it as situational.
I
Probably.
say it's bad. But
I'll put it as waifu.
No kind of thing. I wouldn't play this ever, pretty much. But
yeah, if you want to be funny. So the next card is Felt Feeling of Gratitude. It's a 0/4k. When this is placed from hand to stage, your opponent can reveal his hand, and if there's at least 1 climax in his hand, you rest this card.
Oh my god.
I'm just gonna give it a playable waifu rating. It's weird.
it's a
Yo, I
weird
like
card.
it. I actually really like this card.
Look, I mean, if they made it slightly smaller in power and force their opponent to reveal their hand, it'd be pretty good.
I don't
Yeah.
know, because hand information in Weiss is like sometimes it's relevant, but other times
Sometimes,
Yeah,
but
no,
that means
I
these
agree.
things
Yeah.
relevant late game.
Because it's also the opponent's choice, right? So like you also
Yeah.
can kind of give what you want to read in that mind game. Why did he say no, right? He'd rather you get a 4K beat stick. you know.
Yeah.
I like the mind games. I like this card. I think it's techable. I would put it situational.
I just say it's waifu deck.
Funny card.
Because like getting hand information, it's not like Yu-Gi-Oh! Where if you know your opponent's hand, you know how to play around every card. In Weiss, like if you know your opponent's hand, it's like sometimes it
You
doesn't.
really can't stop.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter that much. Yeah.
Yeah, it happens.
It depends on what your hand is also.
And at the 0-1 levels, I don't think hand information is important because they're probably gonna cycle out their hand within a turn or two.
Yeah,
anyway.
like Weiss, you draw a bunch of cards, you go through your hand, and like
Yeah.
generally most decks level 1 plays should be pretty telegraphed. Like you should already know what they're about to do to you. Yeah. So the next card is Mimi, Vice Leader of Fang of Steel. So it's a 1025. It can't side attack. It bonds to Hetero, and then Resonance. You reveal the bond target from your hand. At the start of your climax phase, you may pay the cost. If so, it gets 6k power. It's Magic Beastman trait, so I think you only play in the Beastman deck. Like
Yeah.
yeah, it can be I mean
Playable.
it gets you the +1 off the bond, and then it can be a 8-5-1-0.
Yeah.
Right.
I like the combo myself in terms of
Pretty
resonance.
good engine.
I like the
Not
resonance.
pretty good. It's a decent engine.
Yeah, I like the resonance effect myself. Because like if it gets offed, I think you can just grab it again because you have the Hitaro in hand. So
It's a fun
it's,
engine to play around with.
yeah, it's nice. It definitely if you go into like the Beastman merchant deck. So I like it. It's playable.
Yeah, playable.
Playable situational. I rate it because the Beastman deck is like it's real. It's not good. So
Okay, buddy.
Wait, so does the hetero and the Mimi like, what's it
You'll-
called,
you will
onto
see
each
in
other?
yeah. So
Oh, is
they-
that the next?
yeah. So the
Resonance.
next card is the Hetero. I'll just quickly go through it because like
Just go through
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
it's
Both effects.
1025.
Together.
It can't be reversed by
Auto,
ability. No, just abilities of your opponent's character. No, yeah, auto abilities.
no,
yeah.
auto
Yeah.
abilities.
It has an
It cannot be super.
Yeah, and bonds to Mimi. It's a discard bond, not a one stock bond. And then resonates with the Mimi at the start of your climax phase. If you pay the cost, it gets 4k power at 1 soul. So it's a 2 soul 6/5.
Ooh. Yo, I kind of like this. You can keep looping through these two cards, eh?
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah.
And then with a Koski, you can definitely mill through enough that you'll probably be able to hit the bond target.
Yeah, it's a decent little engine.
So next card, Aldebaran, Priscilla's Night. If you have another Priscilla candidate for royal election, which is 1/1 I believe, this gets 3k power. So it's a 1065 if you have that. And if this is in the front row, all your other Priscilla get, well, the 1/1 Priscilla gets 1 level and plus 1500 power.
I feel like I can't really talk about this card until we go over Priscilla.
I think that's the next card.
One after.
Yeah.
We'll
No, that's not the next card either.
Okay.
yeah.
Knowing what little I know right now in terms of this card, I feel like if it's kind of like I don't want to say the word poverty, but like the poverty night build, you know.
Okay, well the night deck's like poverty anyways, so I mean like,
Wow.
it's a $40 deck. So how
Yeah.
much more can you script? Like
Hey man.
So yeah, so the 1/1 Priscilla, I'll just quickly go through it. So it's a 1/1 5k during battles involving this. If the level of the battle opponent of this is lower than the level of this gets 2k power. And character opposite of this gains the following ability. If the level of the character opposite this is higher than the level of this, it can't front attack Priscilla. So basically, if you have the Priscilla and the 1/0, it's level 2, and your opponent's level 1s can't front attack it, and it also gets 2k.
It's okay.
It's a neat little wall.
It's a
IMO.
neat little wall, but like in terms of neat little engines, I like the Beastman engine better.
It's definitely more consistent at the moment, I think, unless
Yeah.
you like Tekken your other stuff
Well,
that
the
like
thing is, the
nabs
beast,
weapons.
if you play the Beast Mode, they're guaranteed to die all your opponent's cards because they're
Yes.
like 2
Yeah,
cards, And against all
Is the Reinhardt 2K for knights or weapons?
Magic.
weapon magic, yeah.
Weapon magic. Okay, and so I guess the knight that we looked at was so Reinhardt can also cover these 2 cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I know.
I'd give it.
I like it.
I'd give it a waifu rating because I mean
I
it's playable,
probably-
but yeah,
I'll second that.
yeah. You'd only play
I'll
it.
put it like situational to waifu.
You'd only play it if you like the character, I think. So the card after is actually a vanilla. It's Anastasia, and I'm just gonna give it the vanilla.
It has
rating.
nice art.
It's vanilla, yeah.
It has a nice art.
Can we call this standard?
No, I think it's amazing.
Vanilla.
Can I say it's the first bad card in the set?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's bad. So then the card
Yeah, that's
after is Crush, negotiating with the Alliance. If you have 3 or more other characters with either magic or weapon, it gets 2k, so it's a 1/1 7k. And then the ability is start up, discard 2 cards from your hand to your waiting room. This gains the following ability for your turn. You can attack a back row. But it's discard 2, which is really heavy, so I think it's bad. That's my rating on it.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to spend the
hand.
2 cards. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
I can see the merit. I would more consider this card more if it was discard 1. The 2 just puts it over. I feel like if you're not playing waifu, then you're not playing this card.
Yeah.
I would bump it up to situational. It has purpose.
Yeah, like I can see it like if you can run 1.
But like the problem is the deck is a stock generating deck, and you're gonna have problems with hand already, and then you're discarding 2 for this effect. Like,
You don't want to be discarding 2 in the nice
yeah,
deck.
you can't afford it. That's just what I feel.
Yeah, I understand. That's why I'm saying like if you really want to snipe that back row, but I can't right now think of like a back row that deserves to die as soon as it goes onto the field for any set.
Like maybe level 3 back rows, but even then it doesn't get rid of them immediately. Like if there's anti-burn you want to get rid of, like you're better off hoping for a wind trigger than like using this.
Yeah. The
I think
discard is
there's.
too heavy of a cost, that's what I think.
Sorry,
I
Nathan,
don't
go
think
ahead.
it's that bad because there's some 1/1 back rows that you might want to get rid of. Like if you look at Charlotte, you get rid of the change backup because that the change support because that gives 2/5 to anything changes.
Yeah,
That's
but it's not like
really relevant.
it's not like a guaranteed removal, right? Like for one, they could back up their back row, but that's not very relevant because for the most part, back row's weak. But they can also
Back rows
encore
are
it.
tiny. Yeah.
Yeah, they can also encore it. Like
Yeah.
it's not guaranteed. And
Yeah.
you're spending 2 cards. Anyways, we're moving on to the next card. So I think this card's busted, but people will not agree with me. It's Priscilla, Style of a Queen. It's a 2/1 backup, 2/5. It also has the ability pay for stock, discard a character with either magic or weapon, and then when you use the backup of this, you may pay that cost, and then rest one of your opponent's characters. So it's a character rest counter.
It's a
What was it? It's essentially pay 5, pitch 1 magic or weapon rest.
Yeah, it's like heavily searchable. You can treat it like with almost any build in the set, and specifically in the weapons deck, you can generate up to 6 stock in 1 turn with your level 1 combo. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
They're not really afraid of stock.
And like even at endgame when one swing makes a difference sometimes, like that's just so good.
Like the fact that it's on a character, I think is what makes it really good.
I want to see how like because of course in theory on paper you always want to like think about like you're the ideal situation, right? So I just see how that translates into how the dex is run. I would put this between like good to good plus.
I would give it amazing.
Like if you
I think I'm looking at like somewhere between good to amazing and closer to amazing than good. Just because it's a searchable anti-damage and
no, I see your point.
you have to see how the deck runs.
If you think about like when we go back to I guess it's more it can be run in mainly anything, so never mind.
Yeah, you can run it everything.
Yeah.
Like I'm running this in my mate's deck. That just shows you how smashable it is. The next card is Elsa, Bowl Hunter. Is that how you pronounce it? I'm not good with that.
Owl.
Owl, yeah.
So it's a 2/1.
Although I don't know if that's a good translation.
Yeah, it's a 2/1/6/5. When it attacks a level 3 or higher, it gets 4k power 1 soul. And when you reverse your battle opponent, you can look up the 2 cards of your opponent's library and then stack them in any order. I think it's not that good because for a level 3 attacker, it only hits 10-5 power, and although it does get the 1 soul, like you're not killing much with it.
Like you want to be hitting at least 11k.
So how much power do they usually go up to for these kinds of
13.
cards? 13k. Oh,
You want
13, 12, yeah.
Yeah,
Standard one is 13. The ones that gets 1 soul, I believe, Chulabru had one. There was like 11.5, I believe.
Saw has one.
Oh, okay. There was a darkness card in Chulabru that gets power and soul for doing
Yeah,
something.
but that's you mark her Maya from the waiting room. That's
Oh,
not-
okay. Never mind.
It's still playable. It's just not that great.
It's playable, but then if you consider the set, there's other level 3 attackers that are better. So
Well, this is weapon.
Yeah, that's true.
But you could just play, if you're worried about level 3, you could just play the Amelia anti-change, which we go through later. But yeah, so I think it's situational to bad.
Yeah, I would also agree situational.
Yeah, so next card is Ricardo, Leader of Steel Fang. Leader of Fang of Steel. It's weapon beastman, 2/1 8k, and so if this card attacks and your other characters in the front row are standing, it gets 2k power. So it's 2/1 10k if you attack with it first. It's played in the beastman deck if you really want, I guess.
Again, there's other things that you play, but I guess if you have nothing else to play, this is okay.
It's kind of in that very weird spot of I can beat over level 1s, but I'm not good enough to beat over early plays.
Yeah,
I would give it a jank.
Yeah.
Number.
Yeah, go waifu.
Yeah.
Waifu.
Playable only in the beastman deck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next card is the last card for yellow. I think we'll probably have to stop here. So it's an event. It's a 1/1. Oh, how do I do this? Royal election. 1/1 event. Discard a card from your hand to a waiting room, and you declare one of the following combinations. And you add one character from the combination, one of each character in the combination to your hand. So, A, a character with Crush and a character with Felix in the name. B, Priscilla and Aldebaran. C, Anastasia and Julius. D, Amelia and Roswell or Puck or Subaru. So you get Amelia and then one of the three. And then E, Felt and Reinhardt. It's just the TR search event, but it hits like every character pairing.
Yep.
So you could play this in a lot of different decks then.
Yeah, but
Yeah, as
yellow.
long as you run yellow because it's an event.
Oh, you're right.
It's a good card.
Good. What can I say? It's pretty good.
I would.
Yeah.
I would say it's a good plus.
Like,
That's me.
I want
I would say it's like a filler card. I wouldn't give it good plus. It's good. It's a good event, but it's just a filler hand fix card, I think.
Yeah, it's just a hand fix.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have the chance to play this, I play this in like in every situation, pretty much. Like for the decks, deck building wise.
Like,
'Cause
yeah, you'd
it's
play.
consistent,
You'd probably
right?
play at least one in
Yeah.
yellow decks. Yeah, decks that are in yellow.
And any yellow deck, you
Yeah,
probably
like everyone will probably run one.
At least
Yeah.
one. Like in a weapons deck, I would.
It's a better version of the 2-level event, more or less.
It's the same.
It's the same, but it hits more.
It's more things.
Yeah, okay, I
Yeah.
understand that it hits more.
Yeah.
Bottom line is it does
Yeah,
the
it's the
same thing.
same idea.
Yeah.
So
I put this at a good.
Yeah, just good. It's filler though, but it's good.
Put this at a good.
And we're done for yellow. Do you want to stop here?
Yeah, we're done for yellow.
Yeah,
Let's
okay.
stop.
Okay, that took longer than expected actually. And we're back to do the red cards from V0. So we're starting with the 3/2 Ram. The Ram Pink Hair Maid. It's 3/2/9/5, 2 soul. When this is placed from hand to stage, look up to 3 cards from your deck, take one of them, discard the rest. When you play its gate trigger, I believe, on the climax, and this is in the front row, choose up to 2 cards in your opponent's waiting room and put them into their library, and then your opponent shuffles their library and he gets 3k power. And when it attacks, you can pay 2 stock, discard a card, and burn 1 damage.
That's a lot of effects.
What's a level 3? You know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 3, so it's not. It matches the level.
Yeah, three effects, level 3.
Yeah.
I
Check
mean,
this out.
in all honesty, it's pretty good.
I think it's subpar.
It can be better. It can definitely be better.
Yeah, the pay 2 and discard 1 just to burn is.
Well, that's a
I'm not-
that's a
That's a
standardized
pretty standard
cost.
effect, though.
Yeah.
Is it?
Because
Yeah.
it doesn't require climax, and you can do it every turn when it attacks.
Yeah.
So
Okay, no, I
that's,
guess
that's the standardized cost for the like conditionless burn one, because you don't have to reverse either. I just think the climax combo is
The climax combo is like.
it's very underwhelming. I think.
Well, I mean, you do get that decompression.
But
But-
not if they have a fresh refresh.
That's true. Like, it's useless if they just.
Yeah.
That's very
Yeah.
fair.
Like, at best,
It's situational.
at best it gives them 2 cards fatter, which in all honesty is not that much. And at worst, it doesn't even do anything, because it's not like the power is relevant when this card doesn't need to reverse for the burn. But
Yeah.
I think it's okay because at worst it's a cantrip and burn 1 attack.
I mean, it is look up to 3 rather than the
It can be
draw.
any
Pitch.
card to your hand either as well, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can pick the climax.
It's pretty good, but
Yeah.
it can be better. It can definitely be better than what it is.
Mm.
I don't know. I'd give it decent reading.
Well, now that I know that the burn is standard, I'd say like
Probably give it standard.
a
Yeah, I
little,
give it standard.
yeah, standard.
Like
Because you don't need to commit to the climax.
it's
Yeah.
like yeah.
It
splash.
can help you get like your other CXC for level 3 because there's no stipulation on it. Just play,
Yeah, it's
check,
magic trade.
get 1
Like I mean, if you
on trade
don't
as well.
need your other climax slot, at least the climax is a gate. So I guess you could play it. But
Yeah,
it's just
I
undeniable.
would. Mm-hmm.
So
Agreed.
It's
Standard.
It's standard, I guess.
Yeah.
And then the next card is Beatrice, lovely girl, another 3/2, 9k power. So if all your characters are either magic or weapon, it gets 2k power. And when CIP heal 1 and recollection,
Yeah.
pay 1 stock at the start of your opponent's attack phase. If the Forbidden Library event is in your memory, you pay the cost and then you choose another of your characters with magic or weapon trait, stand this one and that character, and swap them, and it gets 1k power.
We should probably talk about the event card at the same time.
Well, the event's just the 2/2 event that summons this card from your hand, and then
Oh,
use the
that summons
memory.
this card.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay.
So it is early play.
Yeah.
I know. I think it's a pretty good card.
I think it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good. I like the swap. Any disruption to your kind of opponent's setup is always relatively nice at one stock. Not so bad.
Yeah.
Early play heal. It's 13 if you get the swap off.
And then you don't have to commit a CX
Yeah.
to it either.
Not
so.
counting backup. And I feel like Magic has their own 2k backup. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, you just use the.
You just
Reinhardt.
Reinhardt.
Yeah.
The Reinhardt?
It's
Of course.
weapon magic.
Reinhardt is what the magic. Yeah.
Right.
Although
Okay,
I
well,
do
there
believe
you
he
go.
has weapon knight on traits, so he's not on trait, but
Yeah.
he's for magic as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
And if you're
There you
playing
go.
the magic dedicated deck, the Amelia combo fetches both magic and weapon cards. So
Oh,
you
I
can
see.
get the-
Well, okay,
Right.
fair. Yeah, that's super fair. 15 off turn after the swap.
yeah.
I know.
13.
Yeah, my bottom line is it's a pretty good card.
It's
Uh,
pretty good.
because
Like,
of-
I mean, splashable and everything.
Yeah.
Already
Early play.
playable, splashable healer. Although you have to dedicate events to already play, but
Is there? Well, I guess we'll get to it later. I was just wondering.
There is a bonder for the event. So
Okay, that's fair. So
Okay.
that adds some consistency to the early play.
Yeah.
You commit more slots, but I feel like it's a pretty good card.
yeah, I say it's good.
Yeah.
You can
Well,
play,
at least the event goes to memory, so
it's
it
compressive.
also yeah. Is there a relevance to this standing, or is it just
No, it's just
standard?
like
it's just a swap.
Yeah.
I think all the
It
Yeah.
swaps
matters
are-
very little, generally speaking. You have cards that gain power.
it matters in the scanner matchup, but
Matters in Haruka, I guess, but you're not fighting level 3s with Haruka, so.
Alright, next one then. So it's a Ram made of Roswell's Mansion. 1045. If all your characters are either Ram or Roswell, it gets 1k power. And when you reverse your opponent with the climax, you can pay 1 stock. If all your characters are Roswell, Ram, or Rem, you can choose up to 2 characters in your waiting room with Roswell, Ram, or Rem in the name and return them to your hand. I'm just going to mention that the climax is a 2k1, so you'll probably only
it's-
be playing this in a waifu deck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. Like,
this is probably a waifu deck.
effect is great. It's just unfortunate that the CXC is a 2k1.
Yeah.
It's like the curl that lets you like salvage 2
I think
more or less.
yeah, it's better than a
Slightly
Cruel
better.
because
Slightly better,
you don't need to have the full field as long as all your characters are 1 to
Yeah.
3. Yeah.
And you're getting like 2 for the price of 1.
It also allows you to pay out, like, if you triggered any
Yeah.
CXs
Like
It's on
on
reverse.
reverse.
So it's
The
not like
2K1
you can
makes it
choose
so that-
what to pay out because you just pay out what you triggered.
No, that's true. I mean, but it is a way. Strength-wise, it's, what, 5?
5/5.
5.5?
5/5.
5.5.
without assist on the 2K1.
Yeah. So, I mean, even in this meta, not in meta, like in general, it might be tough to get over anyways.
It's not too bad, but because it's a 2k1, if you don't get it off, it becomes very mediocre because you don't have the extra soul pump.
Like, yeah, the problem I have with this card is just. Other than that, it's okay.
So,
I would probably put this between standard to waifu.
I'm just
in
gonna
between
give
there.
it waifu deck rating.
Something around the lines of waifu. I probably wouldn't run this.
Yeah, so next card is...
I guess we could also say like for double rare, kind of very lackluster.
Yeah, so it's next card is the Ram, Power of Clairvoyance. It's a 00500 power. Global 5 to all Roswell, Ram, or Rem. When your other character, that's Roswell, Ram, or Rem, is placed on this stage from your hand, you can scry one from the top of your library and then put it back. And you can pay 1 stock, discard a climax from your hand to the waiting room, and salvage a Roswell, Ram, or Rem from your waiting room.
This card's really good.
I like that
Yeah.
salvage effect.
I'm pretty sure baseline is good from what I can see here.
Also, that third effect is a startup.
Well, you do have to
So,
discard a
if someone is
CMs.
clogging, keep doing this.
Okay, and you also pay 1 for it, but I mean,
Yeah, the point is you're discarding climaxes and getting
Well,
things back.
In the context of the made deck, you have a lot of other discard power, but
is that right?
yeah,
That's true.
Global 500 though.
yeah. So it is a good card because Global 5 and 2
It's a
additional
really good
effects.
global 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the scry
I
allows
would-
you to play better around your triggers as well as brainstorms.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's every time you
The
Is
Sprite's
there-
really good.
cards that like make you draw from top. I guess there are
Yeah,
in
there
Amelia,
are.
right?
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
It's a
So
really
that's-
good global 5. That's
yeah. So it's pretty nice. I would just slap it on as a pretty good.
That's good.
So good.
I want to put this out like between good and amazing. Actually, yeah. I always like good back rolls. But
Well,
500 man. Kaiki.
But Kaiki.
If you have a second one, it's not Kaikiapo.
Anyways, all right. So general consensus, I guess, is good.
Good.
What rarity is it? Rare? It's
It's
pretty
rare.
good for a rare.
Rare.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So next card is Ram, the Made Solid. It's a 001k. Salvage Brainstorm. You can salvage for any character in your waiting room. And it bonds to a 2-1 Rem, which is anti-change bottom deck Suicider Rem. And it also has the effect all your characters with Subaru are considered Barusu.
I mean,
Bad flavor.
That's just for flavor, right?
that's hilarious.
So I mean, it's a generic Salvage Brainstorm. It's pretty good in the main
Pretty
deck.
standard.
Yeah.
There's a brainstorm as an additional bond. Pretty good.
Yeah, I'd probably put it. Well, I guess the bottom deck anti-early play is pretty nice.
I'd probably put this as standard issue-ish.
I would rank it as such, but it's definitely not standard.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just say good for now.
Better
probably.
than.
Yeah, I'd put playable.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's
definitely playable.
Yeah, definitely playable.
It's like splashable and it's the salvage for the mid deck. So
Yeah.
that's good. So next card, I think this card's really good. It's Ram Under the Sunlight Through the Leaves. It's a 0015 level 0 Suicider. And then it also has a second effect. You can discard a card from your hand to a waiting room and then put this on the stage into the waiting room and then salvage a magical weapon.
Free salvage is always nice. I mean, late game, you draw the.
I feel like it's like good plus to amazing. I'll be
really
honest.
good.
It's very good late game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a suicider that does something well late game as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's relevant at any point in the game, which makes it automatically
good to
like
have
as a
them.
0, like just so good. Because again, I'll liken it to Guitari when I was discussing this earlier with everyone else. Just I had to wait till experience 5, but all you need to do is play this and sack a character.
Yeah, but it is inherent neg 1.
True, but I mean, if you really need that card.
Yeah, like it has its uses. It's good.
Hmm
It's also rare.
Also, rare.
It's also $3.
Good $3 well spent, anyways. All right, sounds good. So
right.
general consensus.
Yeah, that's good.
Good plus.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's actually-
So next card is Beatrice on the Sunset Lit Hill. It's a 103k, level 1 or lower Suicider, and it has the effect during your turn. This gets 1k power. So I feel it's pretty standard issue, but it's pretty good. It's magic and book trait, which means you can play in vehicle waifu or you can play in the magic deck as well.
I'd definitely put it as playable if you want your level
Oh.
1 Suiciders.
Yeah, I put standard issue on this.
Standard. Oh, it's book trait.
Yeah, book trade.
Cool. You can play healing magic. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
In not Neo standard.
In all format, buddy. Alright. Next
Right.
card is Beatrice, Guardian of the Forbidden Library. It's a 1/0, 5k. The effect is when this attacks, if you have the Beatrice gate trigger in your climax zone, you put the top card of your library in the waiting room, and then if it's a magic or weapon character, you can salvage a character in your waiting room. So a thing to note is that while you do have to mill or magic or weapon, you can salvage for any character.
When this attacks.
Yeah.
Like this combo.
And it's a gate, right?
Yeah,
1k1?
Yeah,
1k1?
I believe it was the gate trigger.
Alright, yeah.
I like this combo.
Like for red, I feel like this card's
I mean, what
Pretty good.
you don't want to mill is your 2/2 early play even more or less. But I mean, if that's going to stock, whatever.
Yeah. So this
Right.
doesn't have to reverse either, and it's free.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you mill a character, you get something.
Yeah, and as you've said, right, any character that you mill,
Yeah.
you can get any character in waiting room. So
I don't know. Knowing hands like he's gonna mill climax.
Well, I'm not even playing this card. Get out of here.
well,
I mean,
we always like want to try to assume like ideal conditions, right? So ideal conditions is you won't mill into your ZXs.
So yeah, it is playable in like every deck that can include red, but I think you'd probably mostly see this in Byuko Waifu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very strong like waifu variant, though. That being said, like not many waifu decks allow you to have any advantage. This is pretty nice.
Well, I mean,
I would put it to. I would put it to playable.
After, yeah, I'd say playable decent. Yeah.
Probably decent. Yeah.
I like it as I'd like rank it as like standard. Like I mean by it that being
Well, look,
that being said,
standard,
I'd be like
standard isn't really a rank. It's like a classification.
I understand, right? So like
Just put
I mean
playable decent, I think.
sure, definitely playable.
Yeah. So next card is Rama Ram.
Not safe for work.
Bath time. It's not safe for work. Not safe for work warning. Close your video now.
Yeah.
It's 3/2 10k. If all your characters are Rollspell, Ram, or Rem, it gets 1k power. And then when it attacks, you reveal top card. If it's one of the 3 characters, burn X damage, where X equals to the level of the character you revealed, and then put it back. And then you can pay 1 stock. When you reverse your battle opponent, you can choose a card in your opponent's waiting room and put it to the top of the deck. So I think it's a pretty good card.
It's a pretty good finisher. It's decently solid.
Yeah. But
Yeah, I would agree.
it's free, but it does have the RNG factor since
Mhm.
you're not burning level +1 like a Musashi.
Yeah.
It's free. Well, I guess Musashi's free.
Yeah, in the context of the mate deck, it is probably the finish of choice, or you're playing the 3/2 Ram. But I think I like this card a bit better.
It has more finishing power than the 3/2 RAM, but just
It's not guaranteed.
not cantress. But I mean,
It doesn't cantrip and doesn't guarantee the damage.
Was there a card previously that allowed us to scry the top card of our
Yeah.
deck?
Yeah,
What was that again? It
So
was-
there was the back row that anytime you play.
Yeah.
the global.
Like
one.
you could use that to.
Yeah, so you can
sort
you
of
can
guarantee.
guarantee one of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can gauge a first swing of
Yeah,
choice.
pretty much.
Well, it's not really a guarantee because if you miss, you can't
You
move
miss.
that anywhere. So you
That's
have to
true,
like,
yeah.
brainstorm or something. But you can check something. That's a nice interaction the deck has.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
put this card as good.
Yeah, it's
probably
I
a
like it.
solid.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
solid
I
card.
like it.
So the next card is Subaru with Puck, the trio TP. Fuck Amelia, Puck. Best
Oh
card.
yeah.
So it's a 0/0/1/5. Discard a card from your hand to the waiting room. When this is placed from head to stage, you salvage the vehicle event.
oh,
Oh.
And then you can pay 1 card and discard a card from your hand to waiting room and send this to memory. When this becomes reversed in battle, you can salvage a magic or weapon character from your waiting room.
that's not bad. That's actually
I feel like if you're playing the 3/2 Beatrice, you'll
Yeah.
be playing the event, and if you're playing this card is really nice.
Yeah,
because this also allows you to have like more 0-1 consistency.
yeah.
Hmm. The secondary effect is also really good. I mean, it's 15, so it's probably going to be reversed,
Oh, they might decide.
right?
Yeah,
Well,
it's
I
just,
understand, right? But yeah, I understand. But at the same time, right? It's just like,
It's just nice to have its hand fix.
yeah,
And if you're playing the Beagle package, you probably want to play like at least 2 or 3 of these. So
I would agree.
I think it's a good card.
I would
would-
go. I would go as far as 4 because itself already feels the entire engine.
Yeah.
Since you get Forbidden Library, then you crash into something, discard a card, and then you search Biko anyways.
from your waiting
Yeah.
room. Yeah.
Oh, you salvage.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
right. Pay one
salvage.
for it. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I'd say it's a good.
I
card.
would highly
If
agree.
you play the package,
So-
it's mandatory.
Yeah. So if you play the package, I would label like all of the each individual piece of that package as good. Otherwise, this card is okay.
Yeah.
Playable, but I don't see why you would ever play it without the package.
Yeah. So then the next card is Bosswall, Imperial Wizard. It's a 1/1, 500 power. Yeah, it has 6 effects. It's hexproof, level assist, CIP. You may mill 3 cards from your library to your waiting room. When you use a startup ability, once per turn, choose one of your characters, and that character gets 500 power for the turn. You can pay 2 stock, rest this card, and draw a card. Or you can pay 1 stock and choose a level 0 or lower character in your opponent's front row and put it in the waiting room.
Swiss Army knife.
Wow.
Does everything.
Yeah.
Whatever the heck
This
you
card
want.
is yeah, no, good. You can argue good plus, but I
Good
feel it's
plus.
good. I feel like half the abilities are whatever.
Well, like,
But
having actually tried to play a main deck, I think this card is playable, but you don't actually play it unless you're building a Ram focused deck, like Ram Waifu, because you already have back row clog in the regular main deck if you're
Yeah.
probably playing the Demon Ram. So I'd give this playable but situational.
I can
I'm
agree
fine
with that. I don't think like half the effects are relevant except assist, level assist, and
a
the
level
mill
assist.
3.
well, it also can't be Kaiki, but that's no. But I definitely would agree. Like how like the last 2 effects or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, if you do have the extra stock, you can draw into something useful in the late game.
Mhm.
And sometimes there is a on reverse effect level 0 that you want to snipe. So it's nice to have. I'm
Yeah,
just
like,
saying.
it gives you
yeah.
options, I guess. But
Probably put it at a good or somewhere slightly below.
I will
good.
say it's good in a Ram focused deck, but outside of that deck, I don't see it really
Yeah.
being played much.
I don't really.
yeah, I'll give it a playable,
Like situational.
situational. Yeah,
Situational.
situational.
So then, next card. It's Beatrice, 1/1, 5,500 power. If you have 3 or more other characters with either magic or weapon, it gets 2k power and has hand on core. That's decent.
I would say it's standard issue.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
Yeah, it looks very
Yeah,
standard.
Yeah. It's standard issue. Like, you can play 1 or 2 if you want, but it is a stocked character, so
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
to you. Next card, it's Ram Oni Prodigy. So it's a 1/1, and if you don't have another character with Roswell in this name, this can't stand during your stand phase. And then if you have a Roswell, this gets +1 level and +2 firepower. So it's a 1/1 level 2 8k if you have the Roswell back row. That's why I think the Roswell is good
That
in a
back row
Ram
is really
focused
good.
deck, but yeah, because of this card. You probably play 1 or 2.
I assume there's no other Roswell cards, right?
Was
I
there?
don't.
I don't think so. I think
Oh,
it's-
there's a 2/2 vanilla, but
Yeah, that's not relevant.
So it was just that 1/1 card.
Yeah, that's the most
That's-
playable Roswell.
The back row.
Oh man. Okay.
But it is stock heavy because you have to pay 1 cost to play that back row, and if you want
This
to play
is also 1
yeah,
cost.
it's 1 stock.
Yeah.
So I'd say I'd give it playable waifu probably.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, like you most likely see it in the waifu deck. So next card, I think this one's pretty good. It's Beatrice with Puck. It's a 2/1 6k. For each of your other characters with magic or weapon, it gets +1k power, so it's pretty fat. And then it also has a climax combo. When this attacks, you can pay 1 stock. If mana drains in the climax zone, I'm not sure which climax was that. And then if you have 3 or more other characters with magic or weapon, you can pay the cost, which is the 1 stock, and then burn your opponent for 1 damage. And it also gets the effect when the battle opponent becomes reversed, you can put that character on top of the library.
manager is a
It's
stock
stock
soul.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the stock soul helps pay for this cost.
No, like, well, I mean, it's decent, but you probably played the Beatrice waifu.
Yep. I'll put it as waifu. I don't think you run this outside of it, more or less.
Yeah. Because the level 3 Beatrice doesn't use the climax, and then if
Yeah.
you play Beatrice with waifu, you have the gate trigger for level 1, and your other triggers probably for this
Yep.
card.
I have a stock.
Mhm. Yeah, that's fair.
I put this as playable waifu probably.
No, it's 10k 1 stock level 2, it's not bad.
I guess you got splash 1 or 2, just be big, but I think there's better options.
Well, generally. So next card, it's Ram praising herself. 2/1, 6/5 Ram. If you attack a level 3 or higher character, it's 4/5 power. And when it's placed from stage to hand, if you have 4 or more other characters with magic or weapon, you put the top card of your library into your stock. So it's practically, in most situations, just a free level 2, and it's a level 3 attacker, but it only hits 11k power.
Yeah.
Yeah, you force some pressure.
Uh,
I put it playable to waifu. I mean, even not waifu, but like I think you have better options in Ray Zero if you wanted a level 3 killer.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I would definitely put this as a playable waifu card because in the actual mate deck, I think you have so much better level 3 killing options. Like, there's 2 Rams, the Demon Ram and the 2-1 bottom deck Suicider that deal with early plays. You don't need this card that only hits 11k and can't reliably kill level 3.
Yep.
So then next is Beatrice, Clinging to Nietzsche. Funny name. So it's 500 power. On play, pay 1, discard a climax. If you do, your opponent chooses one of his or her characters and put it in the waiting room. But they get to choose, so
Yeah.
it's not that great. Unless they don't have like one character on the stage. But I guess it is a climax discard outlet. And it also bonds to Puck, Great Spirit. It's a clock bond, so it is a plussing bond.
I mean, this card should be amazing, right? It counters Reinhardt.
Yeah, it does.
I see they had some fail safeties in their own set. That being said, though, yeah, I see it more as a playable waifu card. I don't exactly know what the Great Spirit Puck does.
Oh, I think it's playable decent because the bond target is a 1-0 Puck. And if you have another Amelia on the field, it gets +1 level and 2/5 power, so it's a 6/5.
Oh, that's very fair. So I would change it to just playable then. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd agree.
Or a decent card.
Yeah, like you play it mostly for the second effect, but I guess there are times when the first effect does come up for use.
Go around situational to decent.
Yeah. Next card is Petra, Innocent Girl. It's a 500 power. It has no traits. Assist 500. You can rest it. Choose one of your characters with either magic or weapon, and that character gets 500 power. So I think the effect's decent, but it's off trait.
It's all
Yeah.
trick. There's an issue.
So this is for those budget deckers, I guess.
Yeah.
It's also kaikiable.
If you really had to. It's...
Yeah, I'd say if little girls aren't your thing, then move on.
Too bad it's not Global 5, though.
Yeah, if it was
Yeah.
Global 5,
That'd be
I
better.
could
Yeah,
see
so
the
I think the
merits of
effect's
it
not
having no
bad, but
traits.
there's no reason to play this.
That's exactly it. Yeah, it's pretty jank.
It's pretty good in traitless decks.
No, please.
Bushiro thinking of that non-Neo standard.
Beatrice Crossing Over is the next card. It's a 001k Beatrice. When this is placed from hand to stage, you can mill 2 cards, and then if there's a climax, you can salvage a magic or weapon character in your ward room. So it's a free Brainstorm, but it's only Brainstorm 2. I think it's playable waifu. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
I would say like playable waifu to situational.
yeah, like in the end, it is a possible free plus, but it's rather weak, and most of the time you're gonna miss.
I would agree. I mean, I can see it working together with some of the other zeros, like as we mentioned, the check top. But
That's only if you play Ram or Ram.
Ram Rosewell, I think.
does
Yeah.
not does an Amelia at 0 not look at anything in the top?
It adds to hand. There's an amulet.
It adds to hand. Okay, never mind then. Well, okay, well, there was that idea. Yeah, I would keep it where we think it is. Then I guess playable waifu too, or at least I think it's at least situational.
So, next is Beatrice Sulking. It's another 0 Beatrice. 4k power. When this is placed from hand to stage, if there are 3 or more climaxes in your opponent's waiting room, you rest this. So I think it's decent, but more playable waifu side.
It's a 4K beat stick, but yeah, I mean, there's other things to play at 0.
If you want to beat stick, this is pretty good. I feel
Yeah, because
not many opponents will unfortunately ditch 4 climaxes,
yeah,
3 climaxes.
4.
Sorry,
It's 3 or less. Oh, 3
Yeah.
or more. Okay.
3 or
Never mind.
more.
Yeah,
So
3 or
if
4.
if they pitch 3, then.
Yeah.
But if they also pitch 3, then I guess you have other ways you want to go
Yeah,
about.
like you can
taking on
see
your opponent.
when this card is gonna get rested rather than being a top check or anything like
Yeah.
some other 4Ks. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd put
I
it-
think it's playable. I'm
Yeah.
gonna put it as playable.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
waifu to playable decent, I guess. So the next card is Ram, flanked by Pretty Woman. It's a 104k. The effect is all your other Rem flanked by Pretty Woman gain +1k power. And when this is placed on hand from stage, look up to 2 cards from top of your library. And then if you if there is one of those Rams, you can put it on any slot in the stage and put the rest of the cards in the waiting room. And when this attacks, if you have another of the 1/0 Ram, it gets 2k power for the turn.
It's a nice little engine.
Yeah. Might want to max out on both of those cards though if you want.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so
Probably want
Just to, you know.
now, so if you do play this, you want to play the entire package, but
Mhm.
I think it is decent because it's a potential free plus, and well, I'll just quickly over the other card because it's also a 1/0 4k, but it's a blue Ram, and the effect is it gives this Ram 1k power, and during your opponent's turn it gets plus 2k power, and during your opponent's standby you can stand that card and this Ram and switch their positions. So if you get the combo off, you can get like a attack chain going on with this Ram being strong on your turn and the Ram being strong during your opponent's turn.
Yeah, I really like the combo personally.
Yeah. It's not
pretty
the
neat.
most consistent thing, but I think it's pretty cute. I'd probably give it playable decent, but you have to max out the package pretty much.
Yeah, only
Yeah,
if you max out.
4 and 4
Yeah.
for sure.
Next card. It's a vanilla Subaru. Not much to say.
Yeah, next.
Next. 2-1 counter. Ram, enemy of her little sister. The effect is when you use the backup of this, if all your characters have either Roswell, Ram, or Rem in the name, you can blind stock one from the top of your library, and it's a 2/5 counter, level 2.
In essence, a free 2/5 backup.
Yeah.
If you're playing the deck, right?
Yeah.
It's seems
Correct.
pretty. You would put it in. Seems stable, but otherwise it's not that great.
I feel like it's pretty good for a waifu deck, but I believe there are better 2/1 counters in 3/0.
Like maybe if you're playing Ram waifu, yeah. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a 2/2 Roswell, not relevant next.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a vanilla.
vanilla.
So the last card in red is 2/2 event.
The event.
Yeah, it's the Beatrice event for Brilliant Library. Basically, you choose the level 3 Beatrice in your hand, put it on any slot in your stage, and then send it to memory. Well, we've already talked about that package, so not much to say. If you're playing the package, I'd play this.
Yeah, if you're playing the package, this is a good card.
That's it, eh?
Yeah,
For
so
all the
that's
reds.
it for red.
Yeah, that's it for red.
That's it for red.